Was the Bolivian gas conflict a fight over resources? Have you ever wondered how natural resources can spark major conflicts in a country? The Bolivian gas conflict is a prime example of this. So, was it really a fight over resources? Yes, it was. At its core, the Bolivian gas conflict revolved around control, ownership, and profits from Bolivia's vast natural gas reserves. These reserves are the second largest in South America and are mainly found in the southeastern regions, especially in the Tarija department. Significant deposits are also located in Santa Cruz and Cochabamba. The conflict began as Bolivia aimed to manage and benefit from these resources. Natural gas exports became a major source of revenue, making up about one-third of all exports and generating hundreds of millions of dollars. However, many Bolivians, particularly indigenous communities in the Western Highlands, did not see improvements in their living conditions despite this wealth. The privatization of Bolivia's gas industry in the 1990s added fuel to the fire. Foreign companies took part in gas extraction and export, which sparked controversy. Many Bolivians, especially indigenous groups and social movements, opposed foreign control. They demanded nationalization or greater state control over the resource. This demand was closely tied to broader calls for indigenous rights and political inclusion. The conflict also highlighted regional tensions within Bolivia. The natural gas reserves are concentrated in economically prosperous eastern lowland departments like Santa Cruz and Tarija. In contrast, the western highland regions, home to large indigenous populations, pushed for national control of resources and a fair distribution of wealth. This regional divide intensified the conflict. Another contentious issue was the export routes for the gas. The government initially planned to export gas through Chilean ports. This angered many Bolivians due to Bolivia's historical loss of its coastline to Chile. Protests erupted, linking resource control to national sovereignty and indigenous identity. The conflict escalated into widespread protests and violence, known as the Gas War, especially in 2003. These protests led to political upheaval, including the resignation and exile of President Gonzalo Sánchez de Lozada. The conflict became a symbol of indigenous resistance and the fight for social justice. Under Evo Morales, Bolivia took steps to nationalize the gas industry and increase state control. This reflected the demands of indigenous and popular movements. Morales' government aimed to use gas revenues to fund social programs and reduce poverty, even though challenges remained in balancing export revenues with domestic development. In summary, the Bolivian gas conflict was indeed a fight over natural resources. However, it was deeply intertwined with issues of indigenous rights, regional autonomy, national sovereignty, and social justice. This conflict illustrates the broader struggles in Latin America, where resource wealth often leads to disputes over who benefits and how those benefits are shared among diverse populations. Natural resources are not just economic assets. They also symbolize identity and political power within Latin culture and history.